Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, well, you can go ahead and lurk, and that's going to be okay. It's Monday. I'm starting a new kit. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Now, I thought I was going to start the Gundam Rose because I just want to build the Gundam Rose. It's in my backlog. It wasn't bought by I bought it with money from subscribers in the past. Pre-ordered it a while ago, got it. All right, it's time to build this Gundam Rose. Let's get into that. Let me build a new G Gundam kit that's not the God Gundam or the Shining Gundam. That's going to be fun. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. And then yesterday, I was like, I have a package coming. I'm getting this controller. Ooh, okay. I'm going to get a new controller. Hell yeah. I go in. I get wait, this box has two things. What? I got two packages. I have two packages. Not just the thing I knew I was getting, but another thing. And it was a model kit as this model kit. The Qubeley. The Qubeley, and I believe that is how it's pronounced, the Qubeley. The Qubeley came. I do not know who purchased this. It's a 2015 kit. This is part of the Revive series. Whoa. I'm going to stop talking about that for just a second to let you know. My noise gate should be such that you do not hear the thunder that is happening right now. But you might still see the lightning because my window's right over there. But you will also know that there's thunder and lightning because I will freak out like I just did. Lord Cratchit says, hey, Pat, heard that thunder. Yeah, that thunder was loud enough that my noise gate was not going to cancel that out. Also, if it happened when I wasn't talking, that would also work. But yeah, that noise gate isn't gonna fix that shit. Last week says, I wish I had rain. I mean, I was planning to mow the front and side yards tomorrow, and I don't think I'm going to do that because we're getting so much rain. But also, it might be humid enough that it won't matter. I'll find out tomorrow, which is fun. Or Crashing says, we've had some good rain here today in Ohio. Nice. Nice. That's good, Lord Crashington. There is a clip out there. It's supposed to be 106 all week. Yikes, Slashbrook. Fucking yikes. Yeah, it was hot today. Very humid. Heat index was very high. It felt like 100. And I stayed inside, except when I went out to get the mail. Anyway, speaking of the mail, the Qubeley arrived in my mail. The Qubeley appeared, and I don't know who bought it. There was no note attached, but thank you to whoever picked it off my wish list. And so I got to build that. I put up a video on YouTube today about that kit. Talked about it. This is the 2015 kit. It was clearly released in 2018. So, because in 2015, it was the 35th anniversary of Mobile Suit Gundam. Fuck yeah. We're doing it, right? It's 35th anniversary of Gundam. We're putting out some model kits. Hell yeah. Here, check out this model kit. It's part of the Revive line. And then 3 years later, they were like, let's make more of those. We'll use the same design, same box, but in the corner, the top corner of the box, we'll remove the thing that says 35. The badge that says 35. Oh, sorry. Isn't here anymore. And then also here is the blue logo instead of the red logo. And that's it. So even though this kit, I know this kit came out in 2018, we can say it's a 2015 kit because by all measure, this is the design of the 2015 kit. This is a Zeta kit. I like the Qubeley because it's just a weird little guy, and I like weird little guy kits. I think a weird little guy is fun. Just a strange looking thing with big old shoulders and a big old weird head. We do have some stickers here. We'll look at these stickers in the overhead. Let me retweet my tweet and then we'll go to the overhead here. Yeah, retweet my tweet. Maybe a few people will come see us tonight. I don't know. Maybe a few people will. My Saturday stream got boosted by Jeff Gersman over on Mastodon, And if I got a few new followers on Mastodon, I don't know if that translated to anybody watching this, but... Okay, so we've got 2 different eye stickers, and we've got some, I believe these are, these are stickers for the shoulders, the wings. We are, of course, going to use the pink/red eyes because that's better than the green eyes. It just is, and it matches better. And I don't really like green and blue that much. And there's there's a little chunk of blue in this kit. You can see right here. There's a little bit of blue. Not a lot of blue, a little bit of blue. So yeah, this is a good weird kit. I'm excited to work on it. Thank you again, once again. If you're watching this as a VOD or you're here live, you don't want to take credit, that's fine. You don't want to give me a message, that's cool. Thank you for buying something off my Amazon wishlist and allowing me to build it here on the stream. Let's get into it with the body. We start with the body, and then we work on the head, and then the arms, and then the, I assume after the arms will be, then we start with the feet and work our way up and end with the waist. That's how one of these kids did. Lord Crashing, I'm going to just go out on a limb here. There exists... Anything is possible. I am a firm believer that anything is possible. So there does exist the possibility of your joke chat message being real. There does exist a possibility, however slight, however small, however unlikely, that Vince McMahon Jr. was what bought something off my Amazon wish list for me and didn't want credit for it. Do I think that's what happened? No. I think somebody who's not watching live right now bought it and forgot to put a message, or just, didn't get around to it. Or there was a screw up. It's actually most likely somebody did leave a message and they were screwed up because Amazon has been running into issues with their wish list stuff for a couple weeks now. That possibility is much more likely, but I would be a fool to ignore the possibility in this world of endless possibilities. There exists some sort of reality in some sort of place, a world where Vince McMahon just buys stuff to fulfill people's Amazon wish lists. Just random people. That's, to me, if I had to say, if you told me, Pat, Vince McMahon bought this, my justification in my mind would be he just buys random shit anonymously on people's Amazon's wish list. Because, yeah. I will say this. There existed a period of time in my life where Vince McMahon knew an organization that I was a part of existed. At some point in my life, Vince McMahon has known of a thing that I did. Did he know my name? No, I don't believe he did. But did he know about the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater's comedy wrestling collective called UCBW? Yes. How do I know that? Because Dolph Ziggler had a conversation with Vince McMahon about it once. Because Dolph had appeared several times for our nonsense, our goofy silliness. Dolph was a guest on a few occasions. And at one point, he was the world champion of the WWE. Not our world champion, the WWE world champion, or the heavyweight champion. He wasn't... When there were 2 belts, there are 2 belts now. One of those belts, there was a lower belt. There was a point where he was one of 2 big champions in WWE, and I was like, are you cool to do this? And he was like, yes. I was like, are you sure? And he went, yes. And then like a couple days later, he went, I have to ask Vince. And I was like, okay. And so I was prepared to say, like, he's not doing it. Or I'm like, hey, if you can still do it and you don't want us to promote you, because it was early enough that I was like, if you don't want us to promote you, I won't promote that you're there. And you can just be a surprise. Or if we have to say your real name, if we have to, say like Ryan Nemeth and not Dolph Ziggler, we'll do that as well. And he was like, oh, let me know. He goes, it's okay. You can promote me. You can say Dolph. Don't use a photo where I have the belt, and I won't bring the belt. Perfect. Wonderful. And the reason why this conversation happened was because months previous, or no, a year and change previous, we had John Morrison, Johnny Elite, Johnny TV, Johnny Impact, Johnny Hollywood, Johnny Hardy, because he filled in for Jeff Hardy once. Johnny Mundo. We had Johnny Wrestling there, not Johnny Wrestling. It's the one John. He's not. We had John Morrison hang out, and he got asked by Mick Foley, who was doing a show at UCB, to be a guest, and he was the U.S. champion, and so someone, not Vince, but someone else said, "Don't do that because you're the U.S. champion." So that's why but mainly that was my assumption was somebody was just like, I didn't even listen to you what you said. I'm just saying no to you. That was always my assumption. Because Dolph ended up doing a bit for Mick during that show. So as I said, at one point, Vince McMahon was aware of my wrestling comedy show, the organization that I was a part of and helped book for many years. At some point, he knew about it. Does he remember? I don't think so. There are several wrestlers in WWE that know my name for various shenanigans. But that's the one where I'm like, yeah, that's a weird thing. That's just a weird thing that is true and odd that at some point. In my conversations with the fine folks at NXT for many a time, I do not believe that my name ever got far enough that anyone of actual huge influence that is still in the company read my name or resume. But I did talk to I've said this on here. I had a couple phone interviews. And one phone interview, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, walked into the room to talk to the person I was talking to, and was like, "Oh, what is this?" And they said, like, "Oh yeah, we're doing interviews for this was a Skype call." I was like, "We're doing interviews for this thing," and he was just like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hello," and that's it. So I, talked to him. That was the closest I got to upper management. And if I had gotten that job, he would have been my boss because he was in charge of NXT at the time. I did not, as you may have guessed, I did not get that job. Which, in hindsight was probably for the best. My life would have been very different if I had been a writer for a writer slash talent. What was the job? Writer was the name of the job, but the actual job was not really writing storylines. It was working on backstage interview shenanigans with various people, talent. I was gonna work with talent. That the job was basically to work with NXT talent that were not camera experienced on character development. That was where my improv training was going to come into light. And my years of working on a comedic wrestling show, and the pitch I gave them was, I have spent a lot of time working, performing and writing and producing events for comedy-ish wrestling events for people who are not wrestling fans but are comedy fans, and trying to convey the tropes and the joys and the silliness and the greatness of professional wrestling to them effectively makes me a unique candidate for this position, which I stand by as being true. And even more so doing League of Heels, where you have, like, if I wanted to promote myself to a wrestling organization, I would go in and find a Rumble, a League of Heels Rumble. I would go and find one of those, and I would pull tape of that, of me doing the introductions where every wrestler performer comes out and cuts a little bit of a promo or just gets interviewed by me. I would take one of those and I would find the best 5 or 6 or 10 of those. Of course, all of the Rumbles, the little interview segments, because those would be a showcase of me in the moment being able to understand someone's comedy premise and being able to play off of it and communicate it well to an audience, even if I didn't know what the bit was until they got on stage, right? Because like I knew the big things. I understood who Dr. Tracksuit was, of course, but like we've got, it's like, all right, I got this person there. They're playing a detective, right? Well, the story is a murder mystery, so I'm going to talk to this character as if they are a true detective, and then we find out, oh no, their detective is their name. They're not actually a detective. Okay, like I totally understand like what this game is here, or just like, okay, I am talking to this person. They are doing Lonnie Poffo's bit. They are reading a poem that they have written. Hello, Bad Gunpla. They are reading a poem they have written on a Frisbee, and then they're going to toss the Frisbee in the audience. I'm going to be surprised that that was a Frisbee. Like, great. Silly, easy stuff. Welcome. Hello, Raiders. Welcome, everybody. My name is Pat Baer. If you have never been to a Bear Cave stream, you're coming in from the Bad Gunpla, welcome. I build model kits and Lego sets over here. We're working on the Qubeley. But yes, welcome to the Bad Gunpla squad. The Qubeley, as you may know from Zeta, it's just a weird dude. It's a weird little dude. And I like a kit like that. This is the 2015 Revive, although we figured out that this is actually the 2018 version because the box doesn't have the little 35th anniversary badge that would go here, and it's the blue Bandai logo. So but it's fine. It's a 2018, but it's a 2015 kit. It's just this box got printed in 2018, or for 2018, I should say. But other than that, this is pretty good. I'm having trouble getting these little side pegs in here. Okay, yeah, all right, good. Complaining about it made it happen. But yeah, we're working on this kit here. Should I panel line this before it's connected? Maybe I will. I don't even know if this is going to look good with some marker, but I'll hit it. Or if it'll show up. But it's gray, so we'll hit it with the black marker and see if that actually looks okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? That does look nice. So good. We'll do that now because it'll be a lot easier to do that now than it will be later. This other one will be fine to do later. But sometimes it is hard to get in there. Some people like to just do whatever. Well, it's most def printed post 2022 because it has new Bandai logo. So the blue logo is recent, but it also was used before, and they went back on it. The blue logo is a weird thing, right? Because I know that it is fairly new, but I also know it's not that new on some kits. It's a weird thing because at one point they were using both of them. Either way, we know that this kit was designed in 2015. So we know that. We know this is a 2015 design because they have not made a new one since. There's the premium one, the Damned, but that's a different thing. Blue logo is post 2018. Yes, yeah. But yeah, we do know that this is not the Damned version. This is just the Revive one, and it doesn't even say Revive, but we know it was part of that Revive line. Either way, it's a fun kit. When we got the raid, which we're thankful for, thank you Raiders. We were talking a little bit about some professional wrestling. Some silliness when it comes to that. some nonsense in that in the wonderful world of this is the darned version. Yes, Harold, this is the darned version. That darned version. All right, so these croissant hoses go here. Yeah, and then those go on the outside. Okay, so it's gonna go like that. So there was a wrestling event on Saturday that we'll chat a little bit about. SummerSlam. I did not watch it live. I watched it. I was following the results, and then I watched it on Sunday. And there were a couple of matches that I thought were very good. And then there were some matches that I thought were okay, but like maybe not handled the best. And then also, I hope on Saturday that we get a decent explanation as to like, what the fuck? Where are we going with this? Why is this happening? I think it ended poorly and kind of nonsense. So we'll get into it. The opening match was Ricochet versus Logan Paul. I think they could have cut that match in half and it would have been just as good. I've talked about this before. I don't think that this is anything new. I wish that Logan Paul was a worse wrestler. I wish that Logan Paul was a far worse wrestler than he is, because then I wouldn't have to give it up. I wouldn't have to give it to him. I wouldn't have to be like, well, I think he sucks as a person. I'm not interested in anything that he does, but he can wrestle. I wish I didn't have that but. I wish I would have been like, it's a waste that he's there, and it would be great if he would not be there. But he can wrestle. He can do the work. The match was a little sloppy. Ricochet is not necessarily exactly who you want in there covering for someone that is athletically gifted, but maybe doesn't have the hours in the ring, in the squared circle, as they say. So perhaps somebody else may have been a better opponent. But as far as the spectacle goes, as far as like clips that appear on social media, like, yeah, that's the right choice. Like that, I can't say it's not the right choice to have him in there. But yeah, this match could have been half as long. I do love that ratings go up when he does Raw, and his audience does tune in, but they don't go see him perform. Like, because he just gets booed. Like, I don't think his fans are buying tickets to see him live in a wrestling show. Maybe they are, and they're just very quiet, or they're being drowned out. But I don't think they are. I think they're just not going to see wrestling, which is fine and probably for the best. But it is very funny that he just gets booed out of the building. Lashbrook, well, yes, I will mention that. You know what? That is good to mention. Clear out your downloads folder, or you'll be like me and accumulate 400 gigabytes in there. That's a lot in your downloads folder. I myself do go through my downloads, and I do move stuff that doesn't need to be in there into other folders or other drives. I try to be very good about that, cleaning up stuff in there so it's not just folders after folder after folder. I try to find the stuff that I need and move it to where it needs to be. That helps. But yes, that's good advice. So anyway, yes, match could have been okay, but it didn't need to be as long as there. Also, Logan Paul cheated to win, which is great. Let's see. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes might have been my favorite match on the card. I'm not surprised. I am fully bought into Cody Rhodes. Like, I can look at it, like with the eye of like, oh, well, does it make sense that he came in and he's beating the top guys? And like, is he really a top guy? Like, oh, well, and some people were like, oh, well, what has he even fucking done since he's gotten back? And it's like, well, he won a feud with one of the top talents in the company, Seth Rollins. Uh, he won the Royal Rumble. He headlined WrestleMania and lost, but he still headlined. You still need two to tango. And now he has won 2 out of 3 matches against Brock Lesnar. Like, I'm not one to be like, because some people, because like the idea for some people, I guess, is if he doesn't beat Roman Reigns, it's not worth it. And it's like, well, nobody fucking beats Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has lost 2 matches in like 6 years or 4 years. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it doesn't happen. So I still think Cody's doing well for himself, all things considered. And part of that is defeating Brock Lesnar and having Brock Lesnar raise his hand at the end. Was it my favorite of the 3 matches? I would say probably their match at in Puerto Rico was better. So this probably wasn't. I'm sorry, I'm going to get this straight. Here we go. But it was still good. Also, like Lesnar, yeah, it's like Lesnar was just like not on the same page. He was on the same page, but like the story of the match was that he was like just not keeping up with Cody, which I thought was fun. It was a good way to do it. Whereas Lesnar kept taking him down, but then yeah, it was good. It was a fast paced match. Good storytelling. And then like, hey, if you want to make someone look tough while losing, make it so you have to do 3 of your finishers in a row to beat them. So it took 3 crossroads to beat him, which I thought was pretty good. Thought that was pretty all right. So yeah, probably match of the night for me. With the battle, hey, look, obviously I'm thrilled about the battle royale. Very happy that you have LA Knight winning. That's cool. You get Sheamus there in the second. You're like, Sheamus doesn't need this, but it's cool. Maybe we'll see a program with Sheamus and LA Knight. I don't know. That wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't be against that. Omos, just a big man doing big man stuff. Thought that was still pretty good. Bronson Reed being in there towards the end, the last 4, I think is very good. You continue the Karrion Kross AJ Styles bullshit, and I do not care about that. I would like to see Santos Escobar defeat what's his name? Austin Theory next week. I think that would be great. This week, I don't think that's going to happen, but I would like to see it. All right, let's build the head. We got to build the long head here. We got the long head, and the long head needs to get built. So let's we finished the chest. Now we move on to the head. This kit so far anyway is coming together pretty damn easy, which I was not expecting this to be a challenge. So this is so far hitting my expectations. That's the top head, bottom, and then we gotta pick our stickers. I mean, I know we're doing the red. I know that. So, well, I can report that the thunder and lightning seems to have ceased, and I do not hear the rain. And it still could be rain, just light enough that I don't hear it. But it looks like the storm has passed through, which is excellent news for me and my nerves, and also means that power going down or anything like that doesn't look like that's going to happen, which is great news. Great news for everyone. For me and for you, I would say. Okay, so we got 1 or 2, and I did decide, as far as eyes go, that I'm going to be using the red eyes instead of the green, because I think, or the pink eyes, I should say, because I think that goes better with the kit. There's no green in this kit otherwise, so I don't think we need to do that. This is a small little piece, though. I think I'm going to pull my tweezers out here. Use my jeweler's tweezers. Yeah. Just going to hold it like that. It's a lot easier for me to hold it there. This shouldn't get in the way of anything. And then I will just slowly apply the sticker. Whoops. And then if I need to adjust it, I can adjust it. Oh, hearing a little more thunder, so it looks like we're not out of the woods yet. But yeah, all right. That looks good. Just going to fold this down here, put a little pressure on there. That should be all right. I love these jeweler's tweezers. I talked about them in stream before because instead of regular tweezers where you are pressing them to hold them closed, with these you are pressing to release, and the tension is such that it wants to stay closed. It could mean that some of your plastic could fly away, so you have to be careful about that. But if you are careful, it's a dead, like it's a locked position basically, which is very nice for some people. Use it for sticker applications like water slides and stuff like that. But I have found it is very helpful for holding a piece of plastic firmly where you think that your fingers are not going to do the job right. Let's see. Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. It was MMA rules, and I don't think that's fun for a wrestling audience because I don't think that it convey, like the live crowd was just kind of like, I think the home crowd has a better shot at getting what's going on, understanding, because they have the announcers, which you don't have in the arena. Scripted MMA doesn't seem ideal. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like, it's just the best parts of MMA are just like, I guess. I mean, I'm not the best judge of that, but yeah, I don't watch MMA. I watch wrestling. Shayna won because Ronda passed out, so she didn't tap. Ronda Rousey is not tapped out in the WWE. She has been pinned, certainly, but she has never tapped out. And I thought they were going to do that, but they didn't go all the way. Ronda's off for a while. She wants to do other stuff. There's been rumors that she might want to try her hand at going back to, doing some UFC stuff, which seems very foolish, but whatever. It's her decision or whatever. But she's out for a little bit, so giving Shayna the win here was good. Hopefully Shayna can capitalize that into something. I don't know. I hope that she gets Hey, Shayna Baszler versus Rhea Ripley. That would be fucking rad as hell. Even if Shayna loses that would still be great. Two tough ladies fighting and being tough, I think could be great. Shayna Baszler would not be scared of interference from Dominic. And Dominic would be frightened as hell of Shayna Baszler. Even if Shayna was supposed to be the heel against Ronda, that didn't make any sense, and also the audience wasn't buying that. So yeah, hopefully that she can get something good, and it won't just be a random ass tag team with her and another person. Also, I don't want any woman that I appreciate. I mean, I don't want anyone to get hurt. But right now, the women's tag belts are the kiss of death, or the kiss of injury at least, because I believe Chelsea Green is injured reportedly. I don't know if they've made that announcement publicly, but it's been reported that she suffered injury. So I think those belts are fucking cursed. Yeah, and the crowd wasn't super into it. Yeah, they just didn't really enjoy it. Look, there's times when we watch a wrestling match where you know who's going to win. And it doesn't matter because you're going to enjoy the match. Even if you're like, well, I've got a pretty good idea who's winning this, but I know it'll be fun and cool. And so that's fine. I'll just enjoy it. Hey, just another spicy. Obviously, I did not think that Drew McIntyre was going to beat Gunther. Lord Crashing wants me to hit the dance button. You know what? We just finished the head on this big weird on this kit. I will hit the dance button. Here's the dance button right now. Oh yeah. We're gonna move on to the right arm. What's happening here? And oh yeah. I wanted to hear that drop. Yeah, there was no part of me that thought that Drew McIntyre was going to defeat Gunther. My assumption is Gunther is going to beat the Intercontinental title record, days as champion, is going to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record. I think he's going to surpass the Honky Tonk Man. So I did not, there was no part of me that was like, oh yeah, Drew McIntyre, without any backup, is going to beat Gunther with his two dudes on the outside. And also his extreme ability to be a great fucking wrestler. I was like, no, I don't think Drew's going to pull this one off. I kind of would have preferred at least a fresh matchup. I'm a little tired of Drew and Gunther being in the same orbit. I don't know what you do with Drew McIntyre, but I don't think it needs to be this. I'm hoping this is the end. I hope they don't have a rematch anytime soon, because I don't think that benefits either of them. But, I mean, the match was good. I think they're... Obviously, the WrestleMania match that also involved Sheamus was just top tier. So, you know, I don't have any really complaints about the match itself. Lots of chops and just lots of going after each other and just a heavy, hard match that I can't complain about. But I would, I guess I would rather that they be in a different feud. I guess I would prefer if they were involved in other feuds. I'm gonna try to hit this here now instead of doing it so a little bit bleeds through, because once it is covered up, you're probably not gonna see. And I don't know how I get a pen in here. How we get a little bit of shadow on this. I think that'll look nice. So we'll do that before we put on the other components here. Do like that, and then they want us to flip it over. So yeah, I thought that match was solid. Rollins versus Finn Balor. Yeah. The storyline of like Finn was champion in 2018 and he got injured, had to give up the belt, and how Seth came out and was laughing at him and how he's stewed about that for so long. I think that was fine. I think at some point he's like, well, you should have gotten your revenge, tried to get your revenge on him years ago, because that was 2018. It's 2023. Like, you just been simmering on that for that long? Like, okay. And didn't really seem like a thing, but sure, okay. But they didn't go that far in there. Damian Priest got involved. Of course, he has the Money in the Bank briefcase, so he made his presence known. And it looked like Seth might be in a little bit of trouble with all the shenanigans, but no. I thought this might be the match where a belt changed hands. I thought if a belt was going to change hands that night, it was going to be this. Like, they could do that. It ends up happening in another match, but I thought it might be this one. Also, Balor hit a pedigree, which is fun because Seth kind of like adopted that move as one of his moves. So to hit him with that, I thought was pretty fun. It's a pretty fun idea. Again, I am panelining stuff that might be seen, might not be seen, will just be easier to do now. Even if you don't see it, it doesn't take that much marker here. But it'll be a lot easier to do these now than it will be to do them later when this big wing shoulder is built, which also includes hitting all of this Yeah, just hitting these parts here that might be seen later. Again, I don't know how much of this will be shown. I'll have a better idea once this whole thing's built, and I'll know what I don't need to hit on the other one. But I think some of this is noticeable. So we'll just hit it there. And it's fine. We already did the chest and the head. We already got some amount done. I'll be happy with whatever, because we just started this tonight. So yeah, Seth won, and then Judgment Day is mad at each other. And he also used the briefcase that Priest brought and then, didn't successfully use. And he used that to help win. And then it sets up the Judgment Day being mad at each other, possibly. Which is like, sure. And, okay, go. Then we had the triple threat between Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca Belair. I thought that match was not great. It felt like it was supposed to be a 4-way fight, but instead was a 3-way fight. Like, there was just like a lot of dead air in that match. It felt very strange, like a couple people just not on the same page, which is a shame because a lot of it was really solid. It was just like not enough of it that was very solid, which is frustrating again, because I like those wrestlers. Even if I'm tired of Charlotte Flair, I'm constantly tired of Charlotte Flair. I can at least appreciate her in-ring competence, even though I'm not the biggest fan. Okay, yeah, so you don't really see that. So I don't have to do that ahead of time. I can just do this now. And that does show up way better. Okay, so I'll just do it there. So now I know for the other ones, I could just do this after. And it'll look better like that. I don't have to do it ahead of time. Okay, so we know that. Let's see. Do I need to do the insides here? And then Bianca won, which is great. Bianca Belair. I always found Charlotte kind of awkward in the ring. Yeah, I don't necessarily see that. I think that Charlotte is occasionally awkward because it's very clear that Charlotte plans out every moment of her matches, and there are no spots in Charlotte matches where they're just kind of feeling the vibes. So there are you can in some instances, not every time, but a lot of times you can see her mind going, okay, and then we do this and then we do that. And some wrestlers are better at hiding that than others. I don't think she's particularly adept at hiding it. But I do think that her athleticism is really strong, and her moveset is sharp. Anyway, Bianca Belair, who been Asuka cheated to beat her, and she didn't get a rematch when she wanted a rematch, and it's been this whole thing, and there was all the shenanigans. She wins. She's got her belt back. She's thrilled about that shit. Hell yeah, I got my belt back. No problems here. Io Sky cashes in her Money in the Bank and becomes the new champion with help from Baerly. It's a whole thing. Where does this lead at? I mean, my assumption is this leads to Bianca going after Baerly and Bianca going after Baerly and of course Io and trying to get her belt back because she just got defeated out of nowhere. And perhaps she will have some assistance from C17, and that's C17. Okay. Perhaps she'll have some assistance from a returning Shotzi. Perhaps. But yeah, Io Sky cashes in, and they debuted at SummerSlam last year. So they've come from debuting as a faction to having that belt right there, singles win. Not the biggest story of the night, but still cool. Still into it. Like I said, the match was awkward in places. It felt kind of disjointed, which is a bummer, but it doesn't really matter because everyone will just remember the ending, and most people will only really remember Io Sky cashing in. But I hope that Bianca, I mean, heel turn Bianca, we would love it. Heel Bianca using that hair as a weapon, cheating all the time, just being a tough badass heel is fantastic. Would love to see that. I mean, Io is a babyface, so if they're not going that way, if they're going the route of like Bianca is mad, but not necessarily mad at Io, but mad at like everyone, the world, or whatever, like they could do something with that. I think pretty easily. I don't know if they will. Again, but they could. All right, so then we pop these in here like that. Just give this a nice little look. And then our main event, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the WWE Universal Championship, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and of course, being the tribal chief, because this was tribal combat. Now, the rules of tribal combat are apparently that no one may interfere. It's anything goes, pinfall or submission. But no one, who's in the bloodline should interfere until they've settled their business. That did not happen. Because Solo got involved quite a bit. But he wasn't the only one who got involved. Because for whatever reason, Jimmy Uso got involved. But not on Jay's behalf. And we don't know why. We'll most likely find out on SmackDown. Maybe we'll find out tonight. I assume we'll find out on SmackDown. We're going to find out on SmackDown what's going on, why this betrayal happened. And I don't want to say it's jumped the shark, but I will say that this storyline has probably overstayed its welcome. Now, did I think that Jey Uso was going to beat Roman Reigns on Saturday? No. But I did think that I did not think that it was going to be another swerve. I thought it was going to be a Paul Heyman pulled something out, or he just beat him. I don't know. I think Roman Reigns is going to be champion until he loses to Cody next WrestleMania. That's my opinion of where we're at. So it's just about what stories we tell on the way there. This chapter felt awkward. It felt weird. It felt like very strange. I don't quite know what they're going for there and why they chose this way to get there. Again, we'll hear about it. I don't really want to see Jimmy versus Jay. I don't really need that. I kind of like them together. I don't know where this is going and why it's going this way. Again, we'll find out. Crowd was just not happy, which is reasonable. But yeah, the crowd was just like, come on, is this what we're getting? This is what we're getting here? And I don't think that they were wrong for being frustrated with what we got. Too soon, do I think? Yeah, like I said, I didn't see Jey Uso making the win here, but having it be Jimmy just doesn't do it for me. It's just like, we're at the point now where I kind of don't care what reasoning they're going to give me. They could turn it around. I think both of those the guys are great actors. I think that they could, if they wanted to, sell me on this shit. They could find a way to, work the audience, and by the audience I mean me, to be like, okay, but I'm just like, all right. Like Paul Heyman calling it, like Paul Heyman could have hired goons to do something, right? Like, oh, well, hey, I'm not part of the bloodline. I'm just an advisor. So, You know, like I can bring in whoever I want. I'll bring in these people. Like, sure, like yeah, bring in like whatever. Uh, Bring in some people like a straight like a return to wrestling from somebody like who showed up to help out in this situation. A hired gun. I think that makes a lot more sense than well. Now we got twin brothers feuding. Okay, I don't know. The Yeah, it's just I'm a little tired of it, and I don't want to be because I've really liked the storyline. I've really enjoyed where it is, where it's been going, and what it's been doing, and I've been along for the ride. You know, I've watched it unfold, and I've enjoyed it, and I don't know where they're going, and I kind of don't want to know, and that's the real bummer for me is I'm kind of like I don't really care, and I want to care because it's been a good story that I've enjoyed watching happen. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a okay pay per view, and I kind of wanted. Uh, I was hoping for a banger, and we didn't get the banger that I was hoping for. I'll say SummerSlam, like SummerSlam should have been better than WWE Backlash, which is just one of their like nonsense pay per views. Like it should be the number 2 show or the number 3 show behind Money in the Bank, and it definitely was not. Very much was not. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a couple of minutes, talk about ways you can support the channel, do all that. But like I said, that's going to be in a few minutes. We got a few other things that we'll do before that. Couple quick hits here, real quick. Just want to say all the support in the world to the VFX workers who are contracted at Marvel, who are pursuing their right to unionize. They're going after that. That rules. Congratulations to them. I hope that works out for you really well. Yeah, so this is the VX creators at Marvel have finally petitioned to demand union recognition at the studio. That is, and they're looking to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, which is a great union to join. That really gets what's going on. So, all power to them. Good luck to that. That would be awesome because so much visual effect work makes the movies that we watch and we go to the movies and see. And those folks are overworked and underpaid and don't have any protections and certainly don't see their share of the record profits for the agonizing work that they do under very poor conditions. And the multiple numbers of studios that have had to close because they didn't get the payments they needed in time from these companies. Because a lot of that work, this extra work that they get thrown, they weren't getting paid for in a timely manner. And a lot of these studios were definitely going under to survive, doing backbreaking long hours to get things done for a company that would then, fucking not pay them in a timely manner. It's just a fucking bummer. So hopefully that this helps them out in that regard. One can only hope. All right, so I attached these two parts together. Now I've got a little bit more to connect here. So move on to this. But we've got, this is the front here. This is the back. So we got to add one more part of the front. And of course we got to put some stickers on here. We'll do the stickers here first. Down here in the bottom. So that's good. And then just a little brief anime news for your ass. Just give you a little anime news. My Hero Academia is doing a 4th movie. They're getting a 4th film. It will be the general supervisor and character designer will be the manga creator, Horikoshi, which is great because they're not canon. Some of the My Hero Academia movies aren't necessarily canon, but they're not canon. They're not like alternate world. They're just like bonus stories. They're like the bonus chapter of a manga kind of a vibe to them, which I've found to be interesting. Where like, yeah, the characters in that aren't necessarily going to show up. They're not like, and occasionally they are. A couple of the movies are like, oh yeah, these facts were that, this character stuff. Like there's going to be a moment or two here that will be referenced in the show, but not all of them. But they're like close. They're not just like complete waste of time, and they look great. So yeah, got more of it coming, which is fun. And then no spoilers. I'm not going to get into spoilers here. One Piece is great right now. If you've been meaning to get caught up, the anime, they did the thing. They did the thing that rocked manga fans not too long ago. Now anime fans get their turn to either be fully impressed, hate every moment and curse Toei for ruining One Piece, or don't understand what the big fucking deal is. Those are the I believe those are the 3 like ways to go here. I did read a couple people who were like, the idea, they were like, I can't imagine. I don't read the manga, but I can't imagine it's like that in the manga. And it's like, no, it is. You just didn't hear people get outraged by it. But anyway, One Piece is fucking good right now. It's real fun. And they really did a great job with as soon as I saw it in the manga, I was like, I can't wait to see this animated. They're going to have a really good time with this shit. Because it's very good. It's real good right now. Just say that. You'll probably see, fan art and people writing about it, people talking about it on Twitter if you follow anyone that talks about anime, but it's good. It's pretty fucking good right now. All right, we'll get this, we'll finish getting this connected after the pause for the cause, because we gotta do another connector thing here on this side. We gotta put some stuff in there, and that's go there, and then these will lock together for our wings and things. This is going to be the most complicated part of the whole build, most likely, because like the arms are just like kind of whatever, and the legs aren't going to be that much of a big deal. The waist is going to be, like whatever. But this is pretty detailed, these wings, because that's kind of the whole thing about this fucking kit is the wangs. Although I do really like how the neck it just shows up so it can go into flight mode. When it's time for flight mode, it just has its neck moves back. It just like appears. It suddenly has a neck, I guess I should say, because it goes from no neck to no. I got a neck. Don't worry. I like that a lot. Anyway, hi. We're gonna take a pause for the cause. I'm gonna talk to you, about ways you can support what I do here. Everything I'm gonna talk to you about is optional. You don't have to do any of this stuff. You can just zone out for a couple minutes, or politely watch, or think about, if you want to get on board and if this is time for you to do something cool and get in on the action. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Let the people know that you are a subscriber, that you get cool emotes, which is great. You don't see ads. It's the easiest way to support what I do here, because you're already here on Twitch, and they probably already have your information on file because you have subscribed to other creators. You could use Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, link with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use it on anybody. Use it on me. Don't use it for somebody else. Use it for this guy. Help me out. That's a way to support what I do here. You could gift a sub. It's August, and no one has gifted a sub. And you could be the person that gifts a sub if you wanted to. You could. You could join the gift sub leaderboard if you want to. Also, cheer is important. That's helpful. That's another option. It's important to mention. I should say not important, but important to mention. You could join Harold on the cheer leaderboard. Yeah, those are ways to support me here on Twitch. That's not the only ways to support me. I'll get through this pretty quickly, and we'll get back to building, talk about some manga, and talk about some anime. What do we say? Oh, yeah, I got a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBaer. You could join my Patreon at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider Patreon as an option. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBaer. Of course, subscribing to that is free. If you really wanted to, you could become a member over there. And for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. So you'll see the video that I shot today, you'll get that tomorrow instead of waiting for, like everybody else, for Wednesday. And it's good. I filmed it and edited it today, and I liked it a lot. So just giving you the teaser. Let's see. There's also direct donations, because I just talked about a bunch of ways to monthly support me. But what if you don't want to do it on a monthly basis? Well, you could just help me out here once in a while through Coffee or PayPal or Stream Elements. And everything I make through direct donations, through Patreon, through Twitch, and through YouTube goes into a fund, and I buy model kits with that money. I buy a lot of kits. I got a backlog. Like I said, I got the Gundam Rose in there, and I thought I was going to be building Gundam Rose today, but then this arrived in the mail yesterday. So, the Qubeley, the Qubeley came in the mail from my Amazon wish list. I don't know who purchased that. Somebody bought it off my Amazon wish list, which is very wild and great of them. Thank you to whoever did that. If you would also like to buy something and have it jump the queue and become the next thing I build and get its own dedicated video about the thing where you can take credit or be anonymous, you can go to my Amazon wish list. I've got a bunch of different things in there. There's a little bit of a weird thing with Amazon's wish list right now where I can't reorder things. So I used to try to keep it in price order. I can't do that right now. I can only like add and delete. I can't move them. And then some things, if it doesn't say Prime, if it says like free Prime delivery, it might not be able to be bought through my wish list. And I don't know why that's the case, but they're dealing with some stuff there with third party. But if it says Prime, you can just get it. And hopefully this will get fixed soon so that I can, actually keep this up to date. There's some gear at the bottom of the list because it's always nice to have some different options. But yeah, I can't move things around, and I don't know why. But that's what's happening there. I have a Throne wish list if you'd like an alternative to Amazon. There's also surprise gifts through Throne, which seems weird, but that's what we're doing. And you could always, if you wanted to, buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store and then send me a gift card code in the mail, and then I will, or send the mail, not the mail, a DM on Twitter or whisper here on Twitch. I'll get that gift card code and I'll buy something there because that's the best way to do that. And then if you want to support me for free, I got a Discord. That doesn't cost any money. You can jump into my Discord. It's a nice little place. You're more than welcome to come hang out there. A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club. If you haven't seen this one yet, this episode is about Harmony Gold's attempt to bring Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball to the U.S. back in 1989, before Funimation took a swing at it. Harmony Gold tried and failed, and I'll talk about it in that video. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write a character piece and then perform it with some amount of rehearsal before I hit record. This one is me playing the owner and repair person at the last VCR repair shop. That's a fun little bit. It's quick and pretty fun. I think you'll like it. I enjoyed doing it. All right, we're going to talk about some anime, and then we'll soon. But first, we'll talk about some manga. Then we'll talk about some anime, and then probably some other. I'm going to guess some other stuff. We'll chat about some other things, I'm sure. But now that we got through that, we can get back to business. Also, I'm going to drink some water. Time for meds, the usual, and we'll dramatically transition back to the overhead in just a moment. So let's do that right now. That's water. That was pretty good. All right, let's start by talking about manga. I've been reading this manga. I've read a bunch of it. I think I read like 4 volumes, maybe 3 volumes. I can't exactly remember, but I have been reading quite a bit of Homeland Dropout. The time I was reincarnated as the 4th Enchanter in the entire world, which is kicked as part of the isekai. It's not always isekai, but it often is isekai. The kicked/banished subgenre, which has been fairly popular in light novels and manga, and there have been a few anime. There haven't been as many anime as there's been, certainly manga and light novels of this subgenre, but there certainly have been a few. If you have not come across this subgenre, I will let you know what the premise is. In these kind of premises, it is somebody is either kicked out of the hero's party because they did not understand how valuable they were, or their royal house, or they are sent away to die, or they are like through various mistreatment and shenanigans, they have been deposed, and either the people that did it just did not understand how smart and good the person they were banishing is, or in some instances, in some cases, it's the getting banished actually triggers them being great. There's the Heavy Knight. There's a Heavy Knight series that's really pretty solid with some good animation. And that one, he doesn't get his memories until he's been kicked out of the family. It's a triggering of it. It's not that the event does. It's the event like suddenly awakens his memories of the past. Whereas in this one, our guy also once his memories kick in, then he's like, oh, okay, I know what to do now. I know what I should be doing here. But as the title suggests, or just tells us, he's an enchanter, and there's only been a couple of those ever. And it's a big fucking deal that this dude got banished and sent away. Now, there's a lot of backstory about what this happened. There's actually, I'll say this, for this premise that really needs this incident, right? An incident like this has to happen, right? He's got to be kicked out and learn and grow as a person and get better. And then the people that did this will realize that they fucked up, right? That has to happen for this to work. The justification of why this guy, why this happened to him, is actually like, there's 2 parts to it. One part is he's from a family of he's like the half brother of some people, so he's probably not gonna take over the family, but they're all spearmen. They all use spears, and he sucks at it. So you're like, yeah, that makes sense that that they would like not want him around. Later we find out, oh, his dad isn't really his dad. He's not actually the son. The reason why he is why he is an enchanter and not a spearman is because of that his father is the king, and it was a conspiracy by his grandfather. Not by blood, but his assumed father's grandfather didn't like the fact that the heir to his family was just going to be someone who did not share blood with the family. And so this whole thing was a plot to get rid of him, including the murder of his mother, and most of, if not all of her relatives. So this whole thing happens. He gets sent away. It's very clear they don't want him to actually leave. Like, the banishing was just like, they should have let him go, but they were being weird about it. Luckily for him being an enchanter means that he has made friends with a lot of people. He's grown in strength, but he also can appraise things. And the real fact is, he can make appraisal cards that are very accurate to people's status. And so adventurers are suddenly like, this dude rules. And he meets some high-ranking adventurers that he helps out a lot, and they are indebted to helping him out. Especially when they realize, wait, yeah, the country you're going to is going to be so fucking psyched that you're an enchanter. So he gets to this country, he fights some people, he becomes basically the equivalent of a noble. They give him a house, they really want him around. And then it's kind of like there's some sadness, but also there's a lot of silliness and some goofiness. He helps a lot of people. He gets some revenge. There is some revenge that happens that he does not know. At one point, he finds out like that, some shit happens to some people that he is not necessarily paying attention to. That is a real nightmare. And there's some real fucked up shit. We're at a cliffhanger right now in the story where his brother, turns out they are not related. They thought they had the same dad. They don't. But the only person that ever really stuck up for him and treated him well, there's some stuff with the younger brother. There's also, and I need to report this, and I always want to talk about this when it happens in these stories, is there is a somewhat long element to this of purchasing slaves because he needs a workforce and to go adventuring, and he treats them well, and he's going out of his way to help them, but that doesn't erase the fact that he goes out to buy people. Even if he's a good owner, he's still owning humans who are generally like debt slaves. But it's it's not good. And when I was reading, I was just like, fuck. We're doing this shit again. I've just had too many stories like this where it's just so cliche. It's like, and now I'm going to buy humans, but I'll treat them right. I'll treat them better than other people who buy humans too. It's just like, what if you fucking didn't? Like, can't you just save some people who then want to help you? Like, do you really got to do this fucking shit? So they do the fucking shit. That is my least favorite part of it. Again, sometimes it's bloody, sometimes it's violent. There's some good shit going on in it. There's some not so good shit going on in it. It's not stellar, but it certainly isn't bad. I don't know if it's for everybody. I like this genre, so I'm happy to continue to watch shows like this. So I don't know. For me, totally okay, but might not be for y'all. And that is, this got a story here. Wait, is this right? Sorry. I'm going to make sure I did this correctly because this doesn't quite line up the way I would like it to. D1 and 2. All right. This would have to go up. No, this is right. Okay. Now, is this right? No. Okay. I was like, this doesn't seem right. And the reason why it didn't seem right, friends, is because it wasn't right. So that's fun. All right, so this looks like this. This has the bend in it. That's going to go like that. We're working on an arm right now. We finished the big shoulder, the wing shoulder, and now we got to do the arm. This goes like this. That fits better. It wasn't fitting right before, and I was like, I don't know why it isn't working right. And the reason why it wasn't working right is because I was doing it wrong. Simple and easy answer. If it didn't feel right, it's because it wasn't. And I was like, I don't want to force this, and I'm glad that I didn't want to. Anyway, There was no new episode of Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, unfortunately. The 5th episode they announced last week, the 5th episode was not going to air, but there would be a special. And so I was like, well, okay, I'll watch the special. I was like, it's a little early in the season to do a recap episode, but I don't know, maybe it'll be cool. The special didn't end up on streaming services. It only ended up on Japanese television. So Hulu and Netflix and Crunchyroll, all who have Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. I'm watching it on Crunchyroll, but those are other ways to watch it if you wanted to. They all got, none of them got a special that, again, it only aired on television. And I want to track this down. I hope somebody puts it up somewhere, and maybe it ends up on a fan sub of it. Because it was 2 comedians, a legit university professor who I guess does a class or classes on survival training, and the main character's voice actor. And it was like the 100 things you need to know to survive a zombie apocalypse. And I don't know how long it was, but it was a tongue-in-cheek special for Zom 100 that, again, just aired on Japanese television and did not get the treatment. And I totally understand why it didn't. I'm sure that would just be, originally they were planning to make that for like the Blu-ray or something, or they just had it ready to go as bonus material. Maybe it was going to air after an episode at some point, but I think that's better than doing a recap episode or just a rerun. It is a shame when we don't get the cool bonus stuff. But I understand why we don't get the cool bonus stuff. They did a good job with that with Shikimori's Not a Cutie, or Not Just a Cutie, where they had the episode. They did like basically director's commentary with the voice actors over the first episode when they took a break from the season, and they subtitled that and put that out, and I thought that was really neat. Like that was kind of cool, because I'm not really necessarily in for the bonus episode or the recap episodes, because I watch the shows weekly, and I often, as I am right. So this is the thing. Hey, here's a peek behind the curtain. I don't think I've talked about this. As you know, I take extensive notes when I'm watching these shows. A thing I do before I watch the new episode is go back and read through what I wrote from the previous episode. Because to me, even like a week's difference sometimes can be tough for me to remember everything that happened in a given show, because I watch to talk about on stream 7 shows. I watch several more than that because I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe not weekly, but I'm watching quite a few shows. Let's see. I'm gonna tell you. I'll go through and tell you about, because we still have to talk about Sweet Reincarnation, but there's not much to talk about that. Let's see. What else am I watching? Mushoku Tensei, I'm watching that, but I didn't want to talk about that on stream. I am going to try Dark Gathering, but I didn't enjoy the first episode, so I haven't been watching that. Let's see, whatever. Yes, Reincarnation, but that's up there. We're talking about hell. We're talking about those shows. I'm watching Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts weekly, but not talking about it on stream, as I said. I might not be watching. Yeah, I'm not watching a ton of stuff. Oh, there's a new show. Is this a new show coming out? I'm gonna check out what that is. Yeah, I'm not watching. Like a ton of stuff outside of this season in particular. I'm not watching a ton, but I do watch a few things that I Oh, and One Piece and My Hero Academia, and like there's some stuff that I am not my hero right now, but yeah, there is some stuff that I watch outside. I don't think your shoulder pads lined up. They don't properly. Easily. But here you go. Now they do. Because they have on purpose a lot of movement, because there is a flight mode. So they don't easily line up exactly properly, because they wiggle. But you can line them up right. Yeah. But yeah, there's some wiggle in it because this thing needs to these need to have some movement, and so you can do like this for the opening. You can see it in the photo there. But if you want them straight like this, you can. Which is why I panel line the inside, because I might open them up in an angle. But yeah, there's the flight mode or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm watching a lot of stuff. I'm not talking about everything. What is this? Oh, there's the 6-episode sequel series to Warrior at the Borderline, AIM. There's a 6-episode original net thing, so it's online. The sequel to that is up. And that is starting this week. And I do not believe I'll be watching it. Because I don't know if anyone's picking. I don't know if Crunchyroll's going to pick it up. It hasn't been announced yet. And 2, I did not really like that show, so I don't expect to be watching the second or the sequel to it, because I don't think I finished it. But today I did watch the latest episode of Sweet Reincarnation, and I can talk to you about that episode of Sweet Reincarnation. So you can do that now. I need C16, or I need C11 and C15 here. So let me get that. C11. This is C, right? Yeah, C11, C16. And then I need, because we're building the arm. Got to build this arm. C15 is this. And then we'll need C16 for the next step. Okay, so if you haven't been watching Sweet Reincarnation, I'm playing a game here where every episode I tell you if the main character was able to cook anything, because he is a pastry chef who died and was reincarnated in a fantasy world, but he's got responsibilities to fucking deal with in this fantasy world, so he does not get proper opportunities to do what he wants to do, his passion, which is cooking. His name is Pastry. His father's name is Casserole. It's a whole thing. It's, in some ways, fucking annoying that his name is, that I have to say, and then Pastry, and then Casserole. It's slightly silly that I have to say that name all the time, but I will, because that's where we're at in that, that's the character's name. So Casserole. So Pastry. So they don't let him cook? Ask 2 kids to feed? No, they don't let him cook. He does do a lot of magic and stuff, so they do let him cook in that sense. But in a direct to let him cook? No. He just doesn't have the time because he's too busy. Like, he's supposed to be helping this woman make it to the cathedral in order to take her sanctified or whatever. And there are people that don't want that to happen. And he had to fight off a bunch of people. So his dad has teleportability. And so he's like, I'll teleport us there. So we've got Petra and her sister. And then Pastry and a bunch of people were doing there. So they get to the city. Turns out somebody is trying to hire some people to kidnap Petra, because if she gets kidnapped, then somebody can save her and it'll be a whole thing, and then maybe they'll get this engagement annulled. It's all fucking shenanigans. It's just some bullshit shenanigans, everybody. So that's happening. You get disgraced, and then this guy, Lord Amory, would get, he'll pretend that he's rescuing her, and then he'll seem like a big deal. Everybody will be real happy with him. It's a fairly stupid plot because it requires a lot of precision and hope that people don't fuck up and betray you, who are shitty people that would kidnap a child, hoping that they won't, just assuming that you're going to be good. And then also that the guy that the wonder kid that has been around isn't going to be suddenly awesome and fuck all your shit up. Let's see. Pastry helps Licorice. Again, some of these goddamn names. Goes to help hang out with Licorice, who also is going to be doing a ceremony. There's a whole small little thing because there's a maid because that she doesn't want Licorice and Pastry to be alone together because they're a boy and a girl. And there's a whole thing with her and her imagination that's like fairly funny. And I'm sure if I had read it in the manga, I would have been like, oh yeah. But watching it, I'm like, okay, let's get to the next thing because I know there's going to be a kidnapping coming up. So what if we got to the kidnapping? Let's see. Mercenaries attack, and they grab Pastry and Licorice. They just grabbed them by mistake. They grabbed the wrong girl, and they grabbed the boy that was with that girl. Let's see. Pastry keeps Licorice from panicking, and he manipulates the guard to let them know what's going on, which I've already said here. Pastry then sends a message to Casserole so they can go storm the mansion for a rescue. And then the mercenary chief, the guy in charge, is like, he realizes we grabbed the wrong girl. Fuck. And they're not going to get paid. So he's like, well, got to kill these two. But then Pastry escapes the ropes and he challenges the leader of the bandit mercenaries to a fight. And he's very confident with the fact that I don't think I said this for those that haven't been watching the series. If he sees magic, he can copy it. That's his secret ability that they haven't really told a lot of people that he has used very fucking effectively. At one point, he used magic not to burn people, but to share the sensation of being burned with a bunch of people, like mentally, and they all freaked the fuck out. And I think that was episode 2 that he did that. So he's pretty hardcore. And again, as an update, there was no food cooked in this episode. He has baked, I think, like twice. I think he made a pie like twice in the series, but very little cooking. If you were looking for a laid back, like, oh, let's look at this awesome food in a fantasy setting, this is not that. This is your boilerplate isekai reincarnation, overpowered main character isekai. It's got the his want and his need is to actually have time to bake, but he can't because he is a busy guy and he's going to take over a lordship and all that. So they mess around with the formula a bit, but mostly it is just a straightforward overpowered main character isekai. And that's our anime. That's anime that I've been watching. Again, I didn't get to watch 2 episodes of things because one show did not have an episode this week, Zom 100. They were a day late for the streamers. They aired on their normal time on TV, but were a day late for streaming, which means that they were definitely under the wire. They have not said what's going on at the studio that's making Zom 100. One could assume, they said it was production issues. One could assume that perhaps there is which is certainly affecting Japan right now, and the rest of the world, don't get me wrong, a COVID issue. One could make an assumption based on evidence that has been presented in many facets that perhaps they're running into an issue where a portion of the staff came down with COVID. Oh, this is the Beam Saber. I love this shit. Oh, I love this shit, friends. The Beam Saber hides in the arm here. It just kind of hangs out. I'll show you the beams. The beams are yellow, which it's cool. It's cool looking. A cool look to it. But the Beam Saber lives here in the arm. It just kind of hangs out and hides like that. I love that shit. So you imagine it just be like, it just like floats into the hand and goes when it's needed. Oh, that shit's cool. I gotta put E2. Ooh, these look good. E29, yeah. These look good. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What's got you going? What are you happy with? Tomorrow's bonus stream, where I don't do model kits, but I play a video game or do something else, is Persona 4 Golden with mods. So I played a little bit of that yesterday just to figure out where I was. And I'm now at the point where we are about to go into, I think, my favorite dungeon in Persona 4 Golden. We are doing the gamer dungeon. The creep dude with the terrible beady eyes. We are about to whoop his ass, and we get to fight the big knight, the big like Roblox knight, or not Roblox, but like Lego like kind of blocks knight. I shouldn't say Roblox. I meant like blocks knight. We're gonna fight that. It's gonna be cool. There is a mod in it that will help us, that will remind us about a door that we need to go through. I have maxed out. I also did it off stream. I maxed out my rank with the fox. So we'll go in eventually during that stream, probably we'll go and look at the shrine, and we can see how beautiful it is when you max out with the fox, because all of the money that was collected was used to make the shrine look dope as shit. So that is very good. And then I've been playing Mars First Logistics because I have a new controller. I bought a controller that has a. Let's see. Can I? Where is it? Where is it? Nope, I can't reach it from here. Oh, here it is. I couldn't reach it because I had it in the wrong spot. Hey, good night, Harold. Have a good one. I will read your message right now before you go to bed, saying I saw the Super Mario Bros. Movie over the weekend. I also watched this past week Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the musical episode, and I've been listening to the soundtrack. Hell yeah. Well, have a good night, Harold. Also, 2 Kids, 2 Feed. It says, just started Ranking of Kings Series 2. Really digging it so far. Yeah, it's bittersweet in some ways, but it's still a lovely series. So this is my controller. This is the third party. It is a knockoff, but it is licensed. This is a Power A controller. So this is the Xbox Series S and X controller here with its many buttons. But check this shit out. So this is a wired controller. There's no batteries in here. It's wired. And this is a USB-C. And the USB-C to USB A wire that they gave me is so fucking huge. Look at this fucking shit. Look how big this is. It came with its own like tie. What the fuck? I don't need a cable this big. If I had an Xbox, this would be great. So that's really fun. I haven't tested it with a different controller cable, but that's cool as hell. It doesn't have the breakaway cable thing, which some controllers do have, but still pretty good. I have one of those Power A Xbox controllers, pretty good. I changed my cable too. Yeah, I could totally change the cable. I don't mind that it's that long. In fact, actually, here's the real thing. I have a USB-C. I have my headphones charge on USB-C because they're little Bluetooth enabled headphones. These are Bluetooth friends. My charging cable is a little short. I might swap these out and play with that one and use this one to charge because it's, I don't know. But anyway, I was happy with it. I played Mars First Logistics. I also, in Mars First Logistics, finished a mission that has been bugging me because you had to drop an object in a really weird place, and I finally did it. And now I have to so fucking annoying. I got to move a bunch of ice, and I don't know how I'm going to move this ice. this big block of ice. I'm like, there's no way I can do this. I have no idea how I'm supposed to do this without breaking it. So I got to figure that out. I need like a better grip on it that's not using the grippy claws. I think maybe I don't know yet. I don't actually know the best way to do it, but I'm going to play around. I'm still really digging Mars Force Logistics, and when I'm like, oh, I can't solve any of these puzzles, and I'm just getting frustrated, I just drive around. I have a vehicle that is lightweight enough with race car wheels that when I hit the booster rocket, if I'm like going up, it just takes off and flies, and it's very silly in a way that I'm super into. Lastwork says, I started watching Serial Experiments Lane because of Nextlander. Yeah, they're going to be talking about that show. And I forgot how weird looking that show was. Also spent my Sunday watching the EVO Finals, and FX6 was hype as hell. Yeah, I've heard very good things coming out of EVO. I've also heard that a few people had their USB controllers, like connectors, melt a little bit, and they were blaming the PS5 USB port being too close to the exhaust fan, and I'm like, or the power supply, and I was like, well, that happened to, look, it is wild that happened to a couple people, but like it only happened to a couple people. That feels like a strange set of circumstances. I would say maybe your controllers are real janky and weird. I don't know. But I did hear that from a couple different people that it happened to a couple people. Very strange. Something to look out for. Also, Evo's not going to stop using PlayStation 5s. Like, it's just not going to happen. Evo is co-owned by Sony, so they're not going to stop using PlayStation 5s. This is not going to happen. It does seem like having ports by your exhaust is a bad idea. Yeah, it totally could be bad. I don't necessarily think that is the exact cause of it, because there are various reasons why that could be happening. And again, I believe it happened to 2 people. And even by Evo standards, that's not a lot of people. Like, considering how many people use the jankiest, weirdest shit for that. But I'm also not saying like, oh, they're lying or anything. I just think it's just like a weird fluke thing. Let's see. Lord Crashton played through Venba and enjoyed it a lot. Great little story. I've heard good things. I did not pick that game up, but I have heard good things about it. And also, Lord Crashton started Baldur's Gate 3, and that's neat so far. Nice. I have no interest in playing Baldur's Gate. That's just not my style. My fantasy, I don't necessarily like playing fantasy that much, right? That's just not where I'm at. I like doing D&D. I like reading fantasy books and fantasy manga and watching fantasy anime, but I've just never been super into, like, I never beat like Skyrim. I played some Skyrim, but it never hooked me the way it hooked so many other people. But I really like Fallout. I think that's just kind of where I'm at. So I just don't see that being a game that I would be interested in. Venba's on Game Pass if you have it. I'll have to see if it's on PC Game Pass, which is where I'm at. But I'll take a look. Yeah, I've heard good things about Venba. I just have not checked it out. Let's see, I need 39. And then Lord Crashton says, my main character in Baldur's Gate 3 is a monk version of the character Hawk on Cobra Kai, since there's some good hair like his. Hell yeah, that's fun. I always enjoy that shit. We didn't play D&D this week. We'll hopefully get back to it next week. And there was a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show, or Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show that this weekend, but they didn't stream it live because the venue didn't support that, and so it hasn't gone up yet. When they do that, it's usually like 3 days because they got to take the recordings and edit it all together and do whatever, and they chop out some of the dead air. And when that goes up, I'll probably watch that, but I haven't been able to watch that because Uh, it hasn't been up yet, so it was weird because usually that's Sunday. If there is a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show available on the weekend, I watch it on Sunday with some friends, which is I just really like. I like watching wrestling with people. I watch too many hours of wrestling right now. I think I don't know what I'm going to come back on, but I watch 2 hours a week of WWE. I watch SmackDown every week. I watch 5 hours of AEW. That's 2 hours of Dynamite, 1 hour of Rampage, and 2 hours of Collision. And then I watch. So that's AEW and WWE. That's 7 hours of wrestling there, and then I watch an hour and a half to 2 hours a week of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. If I was going to cut something, it would probably be SmackDown, especially because it looks like they're changing up the announcers on the shows, and Corey Graves is going to SmackDown. And I don't enjoy Corey Graves at all. So, as an announcer, so I'm like, so I might cut that out. Some people will be like, oh, you should cut out Rampage because nothing happens. But I like Rampage because stuff does happen there. There is some good character development. And one of my favorite matches of the week last week happened on Rampage, which was the parking lot brawl between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Best Friends. I thought that was fantastic. And that's on Rampage. So Collision is probably the Here's the thing. There's a couple wrestlers I really like, and they're only on Collision. So it's like, I guess I probably should watch more Collision. And Chris Statlander is on Collision. And Ricky Starks is on Collision. It's like, and the House of Black are on Collision. But if there was one show that I would end up skipping, it probably would be that. So if I do end up skipping one, it'll be that show. I cut 2 hours out. But I probably should cut out SmackDown because I'm not really enjoying my time with it. All right, we got one whole arm done, including the shoulders. This is the most complicated part of the build is this. But you can see here, these move around and have a lot of freedom of movement there for the flight mode. The flight mode is just it moves a little bit. It's not really that. These arms don't connect super well, so I'm going to be popping that back in quite a lot, it feels like. And you can see here we have the beam saber holder is right there in the hand, which is fun. But yeah, these move around. I'm still going to panel line them because you probably still see them if I open it up. And then trying to get it lined up right is a little tough. And then the head moves up like that, but then normally lives like that. This thing's weird in a way that I really enjoy. We'll get some of this next arm started. Basically, it's this, but reversed. So this side is on the front, and this side is on the back. So, which is complicated in my head, because I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. You kind of have to do it in reverse order. It's not symmetrical. And so I just have to remind myself of that. And hopefully we'll be fine. But yeah, now we just got to do it the other way. And we'll get it done. So we'll start working on that. If there's anything else y'all have been watching or playing, you can let me know. We'd love to hear it. Again, Persona 4 Golden with mods. And also my save state is... I've used a save editor to cheat in the game because that way I never have to worry. We are going to, as I said, we're going to go into that dungeon that I have not done in a one of my favorite dungeons in the game, probably my favorite. We'll go and do that. I mean, look, the dungeon where we have to save a little girl late in the game is a cool dungeon, except for the part where every couple levels we're just so scared the little girl might die in that world. But like as a vibe, that level, that dungeon is cool. Everything around it sucks. So, you know, and also Margaret's cool little stage thing is pretty neat. But this one, we're going to the gamer one. We're going to do the games. I don't know what... Hey, let me know in chat. What do you think my team should be? We don't have, storyline-wise, we don't have our third member. Or, sorry, our last member, our final member. Or the third member of the B squad. Kanji's going to be in the team. No problem. Maybe we'll bring Teddy. And then I don't know who our fourth is going to be. We don't really need... Honestly, we're at the point of the game where for the bosses and the sub-bosses, we might need a full crew. But I'm so overpowered that we probably don't need a big, huge crew to get the job done. We're probably going to be okay. But I'll probably do a full team in wacky costumes. But if you have a suggestion about who needs to be on that team, let me know. Like I said, it's me and, it's definitely Kanji. I'm thinking Kanji and Chie and Teddy is probably where we're going to go as our 4-person squad. Because Chie is a powerhouse, and it's nice to have the powerhouse there for when we need it. And also, if we put her in the beginning there and we all do an attack, we get the option of having her say, aha, is this our chance? In Japanese. But, that's a great line. So, probably want to have that. But we're bringing on my boy Kanji. And, I haven't used Teddy at all. So, maybe I will. Player Teddy is a better option than helping you along the way, Teddy, for sure. So, we're still doing all right by having Teddy in this position. But I don't think we used him at all. So maybe we will. But yeah, I've been playing. I just logged back in on that. I went and got the 6th and final model kit, so at night we can build the model kit. Although, if I can at night, the plan is in my playthrough right now. I'm going to work for the horny nurse. We go and work at the hospital because you got, at one point you got to, but also we got to go there because I want to, eventually be able to go and talk to the old lady. So you got to do the, those are connected. So we went to the hospital to work at night, and I'm not doing daycare or tutoring in this playthrough. I'm not doing any sports. I'm gonna try not to. I haven't met the annoying girl because I haven't been doing any sports. And I went a little bit to do acting, but I'm done doing acting. I had to do that to get in there. And then I'm fairly confident that I am not... I'm probably going to help the brother of the girl who died. I'm probably going to help the sad sack boy because I do feel bad for him. So I'll probably end up helping that boy. I also... is there any other ones that I'm not going to do? Yeah, I'm not going to help the spoiled girl. Oh, Adachi. You could hang out with Adachi. In Golden, you can hang out with Adachi, and I refuse to hang out with Adachi because he sucks, and I don't want to hang out with him. So I have not done that. That's the hardest to do because there's only so many days to do that. And also, we'll finish off Marie, but that's time sensitive, so... I haven't even hung out with Kanji yet. I think I fucked up, and I just haven't been able to hang out with them. And of course, we'll hang out with Naoto. But we're done. We're almost done with Yuki. We're definitely done with Chie. We maxed out. We maxed out Chie. We maxed out our uncle and our cousin and the fox. So we did the important ones. We did all the important ones. But we're close to finishing off Yuki, and then we'll be able to. I guess we'll hang out with. I guess we'll finish up some of the important regular people. The people that have powers associated with you hanging out with them. We should probably do that, but we got to hang out with Kanji. We just haven't. This is so nice. The Defiant Salem says, "Hey, Pat Baer. I watched your tutorial on how to do com versus com matches in WWE 2K23, and it helped a fuck ton. Thank yous." Well, that's awesome. That's. I guess there are some people that find out that come here because of my YouTube. It's probably the least likely, but that's so great. Yeah. I hate that. I hate that the number one comment I get on that video is, "I'm so glad this is like short," because there's so many people that are like, "Well, I got to turn this into an 8-minute video." And it's like, nah, I'll just show you how to do it. I'll do it because in WWE 2K22, I was doing it wrong for months. I thought you had to do it in NXT. You had to do like the My GM mode in order to do it. Yes, this is the Qubeley. I keep saying it wrong. This is the Qubeley. We just started it tonight. We already got a bunch of it done. But yeah, I'm glad that that tutorial helped you out, because it's not hard, but they don't tell you how to do it. Once you know, you know. Actually, that is going to wrap things up here. We got a lot. We started this tonight, and in 2 hours, we got a lot of progress done on this kit. This arm just does not want to stay in. That is a poor design. Whatever. But yeah, we got a whole arm done. We got the head done. We got the chest done. And we'll get some work done on the next one. On Thursday will be our next build stream. But a reminder, friends, that my next actual just regular old stream is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we will be playing Persona 4 Golden with mods. This is the PC version of Persona 4 Golden, the upgrade 64-bit version with a lot of mods. Some of them are very silly. I have not deleted any mods, so we still have the every period has been replaced with a cat emoji, which is still very good. That is still a very good nonsense mod that I really enjoy. So I hope people will come in for that. And again, we're going to go into one of my favorite, just vibes-wise, one of my favorite dungeons. And we'll do it in the 2 hours, no problem, because it's fairly easy. We talked about it earlier about Venba. Mary Kish is playing Venba right now, so we're gonna go hang out with Mary. Mary Kish is fantastic. We always try to raid Mary on a Monday. Of course, we also got raided tonight, so we should share the love and go out on a raid. We'll go hang out with Mary Kish, who's playing Venba. Once again, I hope that you will come on this raid. I hope you will come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern as I continue to work on this, or as I play a video game, I should say, and Thursday as I continue to work on this kit. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Monday. I'm so glad this thunder and lightning storm subsided and was not a fucking big deal. I'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.